Prepare to be fucked by the long dick of the law.
This isn't happening. Everyone look away, please. Nothing to see here.
You can't break those cuffs.
Make him away, Ty.
Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I'm Officer Kevin.
And I'm Officer Robot.
Grant, during the intro,
because I look like Remy Malek. I got my hood, my black hoodie on. You know, if you subscribe to the YouTube, you can see all this stuff. This is great.
Wow.
I do a costume change every week.
the plugs
I
get
changed
quicker
my
and
name.
quicker every. Next time, there's not even going to be a theme song. It's going to be like,
welcome to
"Listen,
YouTube.
Watch it on YouTube now. Turn off this recording now." Grant, I wanted to say, I was like, you mentioned before, I like to wildly gesture and throw my body into the intro. And as I was doing it, as I was doing the whole welcome to Thought Cops, my phone fell and I caught it between my knees and I held it there as I introduced the show. How incredible is that?
Yeah, that's all right.
Thanks, man.
I mean, it just fell into your lap, is what you're saying.
No, it felt like, it was like down here.
Oh,
And
okay.
I caught it.
That's good.
Folks at home, I wish you could see this, but you can't.
You've been working out your calves so
Maybe.
that you could pull that off?
Yeah.
That's good.
Just in case, you never know. Let's give a thank you to our guest from last time, Lindsay, aka Skylarky. Thank you. And let us give a warm welcome to a brand new guest to our show that we do here, Kelgore. How are you, Kelgore?
Yeah, no, I'm also not bad. I'm doing great. I'm just excited to be here.
Excellent. So, Kelgore, you have started a YouTube channel of your own, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you started it during the pandemic?
I sure did. I started it in about like December 2020.
Oh, wow. So
well into the pandemic.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
point.
pretty deep in. What made you want to start making content, as it were?
Become a creator.
I just really think that everyone needs to hear every thought I have. So
Hey, we get it. Trust us.
I figured it. Yeah, I figured people really need to know what's going on inside my noggin. No, seriously, I was doing some podcasting and stuff earlier in the pandemic, and it was really fun, and I was really enjoying the creative outlet. And I wanted to make some fun videos and stuff, and I just have really been enjoying it.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know that you and Grant, what you guys meet on, I'm going to guess, TikTok?
Sort of. It's an interesting story, actually.
We met on TikTok.
I think the origin story was that Kelgore was bullying me on Twitter, and I followed her because it's funny to be bullied.
What are you bullying my guy here for?
What did I bully you for again?
I can't remember because I think that you said you delete tweets frequently, but I did one of those posts.
Oh yeah,
that was
I delete all my tweets because shame.
No, I do the same thing recently too. I just go back and just blanket delete years worth, just in case. It was one of those posts that was what
are you hiding?
Literally anything.
Okay.
Literally anything. Anything that can be used against me in a court of public opinion. It was one of those movie tweets that was the 4 movie characters that I'm most like, and it was Joker, it was Ryan Gosling in Drive, It was Taxi Driver. Yeah, Taxi Driver. Those types of things.
Oh yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah, and you were like,
I wasn't sure if you were
kidding
like
me?
Oh, I think I remember this,
sure
actually.
if you wwere doing the like ironic, like, yes, I relate to
Right.
Patrick Bateman, or because I feel like a lot of those characters are like, they're definitely experiencing some mental health like issues a little bit,
trials and
there's
tribulations.
like the glorification of them. Well, there's like the glorification of them, but then there's also like the fact that it's very real.
Well, keep in mind, these are Sigma males we're talking about here.
Yeah, big Sigma
True,
energy.
yeah. So it's a little bit different. But sometimes those characters get sort of like co-opted by like weirdos where you get like some super right winger and he's just like, my favorite character is Tyler Durden. And
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
like, okay. And you probably love like Rage Against the Machine.
So
not
right.
bad.
So basically,
You know what I mean?
you took Grant to be one of these people. Like, you were just like erring on the side of caution.
No, I think I was just probably giving him a hard time.
Yeah,
I was probably just kidding.
Which is funny.
Because
and
I don't
take
really
that in
normally
full
engage
stride.
with people that I like hate with. So yeah, I really don't do a lot of like actual bullying on Twitter. It's usually I'm just busting your balls, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, and I think after that, Leo in the chat says Grant can handle bullying, which I can.
You guys ever notice,
funny.
like, nobody calls
That's true.
Nobody calls it bullying or even trolling anymore. It's dunking now.
Ugh.
I'm dunking on somebody.
Yeah,
What's up with that?
true. Yeah. Or like ratioed. Yeah, I don't really think I'm cut out for TikTok. The couple times I've had any traction on there at all, it's been horrible. So I'm good.
Horrible in what sense? Like, it was just like underperforming,
Like people
or
are
like,
so mean.
Oh, okay.
No. Most of my stuff gets like 100 views. That's fine. I'm fine with that. And I like going on the app because I like watching what other people make. And I really don't comment on much unless it's like my friends' stuff. But I feel like TikTok is very toxic. And so, okay, one time I like one of my posts kind of took off and it was really silly, but like a lot of people in the replies were just like fighting about it and it was very pointless and silly. But then I called out this guy on TikTok on my YouTube channel and he made all these videos about me on TikTok and I was just like, I do not want to deal with this. And they were like coming and commenting on like every single one of my videos and saying mean things about me.
Yeah, I saw that. That was like in response to, so I guess we can sort of talk a little more about the YouTube videos because that was in response to a video you made about like TikTok landlords, correct?
Yeah.
What a horrifying
Like that lady
world
who
we
goes,
live in.
TikTok.
Jesus.
TikTok.
Yeah, because like
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't actually.
There's like the lady with the big curly hair and she's like, follow me on TikTok. And she's like the landlord and she's like crazy and she's like, this is how I bought my car.
No, she's on the show next week, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Her name's Tatiana.
I'm not familiar with Miss Tatiana, but yeah, like a number of your more recent videos do seem to have been going into like TikTok MLM type stuff and like landlord TikTok and like a number of those different sorts of things and whatnot.
I'm sorry. Again, I'm not
it
too
seems
like,
like you're getting like traction from them though. No, sorry, Kevin. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I'm not like super TikTok savvy, but just every
Dude,
time
there's a niche corner of
I was
like
gonna say,
everything.
Every time you like shed some light on these niche corners of TikTok, I'm like, how is this a thing? Like landlord TikTok?
Yeah, for landlords that want to like fucking like be like, actually being a landlord's good. And I made, when I was 19, I bought my first home because, my parents bought it for me and I rented it out. And like, here's why actually I should be allowed to evict whoever I want. Like, it's bad. It's bad shit. There's bad people out there.
So they do that. They do lip syncing. They do all kinds
Just those two things. Cool. There's hemorrhoid TikTok.
Yeah, Well, okay, so there are a lot of weird corners of TikTok, and the thing is, okay, so the landlord one is so weird because I always thought of TikTok as this like app for little commie children, and it's not apparently. And like there will be these really popular videos with like tons and tons of views and likes, and it's of like a landlord evicting one of his tenants. And
what the fuck?
The comments, you would think you would think the comments would mostly be like, oh my God, you're a monster, which they probably delete a lot of those. But there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of comments usually of people being like, oh, this happened to me too. And my tenant came home and they had like a brand new car, but they weren't paying me rent for 6 months and like all this stuff. And like, they're like totally agreeing with the landlord that posted it. And I'm like, I thought that this app was cool.
That's like cartoonishly evil.
Not.
Like
it's
you're
just another
evicting somebody on video.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, hey, here's me evicting. This is how you evict during the pandemic to get around the moratoriums. And it'll be like a how-to video.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, or videos.
So
of
I've been making some videos on YouTube where I get like really mad at these people. I don't really know if it does anything.
Sure, I mean,
but I don't know.
understandably so.
I'm just mad.
It pisses them off, which is good.
And that does, yeah, again, like I said earlier, I
True.
have been watching your YouTube videos recently. There's a lot of really cool, like one of my favorites you had on there was I forget the title, but it was about millennials and how we're kind of like embarrassing ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt that
For
very
sure,
hard.
yeah.
Like it just, this war that I thought was a perceived war between Gen Z and millennials, it's just like so pathetic.
Yeah.
Can't hurt you.
But I mean, like
Yeah.
you really do like
Also,
a really cool.
we just got to age with grace, you know?
God, I'm trying. I mean, just the like, I mean, we have to like have some kind of awareness, you know, and I think that you really lay out all the points in that video really well of like, why do we act this way? Here's the system
thanks.
that raised us. Here's the system we left behind. And just like all the different people of different ages that are around like our generational group. You know, it's definitely very interesting. And you have a series of videos called You've Been Lied To.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I think I'll keep that one going the longest.
And they're very informative too,
We'll see.
like just about like even
Thanks.
super current stuff like the job market during the pandemic,
Yeah.
where it's like a lot of, you know, what we're hearing now is, yeah, there's a lot of people who don't want to work or people who are, you know, and there's a lot of jobs out there that are hiring. But at the same time, it's like you need to know what you're worth because you're probably worth a lot more than you fucking think you are. And that is so true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes I just want to make these videos to like tell people to like not underestimate themselves, not in like a self-helpy kind. It's like self-help for the labor movement, sort of.
Sure, but it's important,
but like just
though.
hey, you like nothing in our society ever tells you to like stand up for your right as a worker. Like we never get that message from anyone.
Yes.
And so it's like kind of saying those sorts of things and like, you know, you're worth more than like whatever they're paying you in a lot of jobs. But also sometimes I'm just like, I want to see a video about something and I look it up and I can't find it. And I'm like, well, I guess I got to make it.
Yeah, no, that's a great,
Although,
great way to
sometimes
make
I
stuff.
don't because I'm not qualified to talk about many things. I'm not like a historian or anything. I'm just like some dumb lady.
I mean, most people on the internet are not qualified to talk about most of the shit they talk about, but
I
they're
know.
out there
I gotta
doing it.
remind
Even-
myself of that.
Even the fucking qualified people are fucking quacks sometimes. Like it really has shown a light on just like how fucking dumb I think all of us are. And I think that there's people that are willing to embrace it and be like, this is what I mean, even from the point of view of people who are like up the ranks of their profession and stuff like that, even to go like, hey, I don't know everything, but like, here's what the data says as far as I know. And it's just like, that's a healthier attitude than like, the vaccine will give you cancer, like that type of whatever. I don't want to get too
Good
into that.
stuff.
But,
True. And like sometimes you think you like realize somebody who you've like listened to a lot about like serious things isn't qualified and you're like, maybe imposter syndrome is a good thing. Maybe more people should have it.
I
Because some of
agree.
these people are just so brazenly like putting themselves out there acting like experts, like all these like chiropractors that give like nutritional advice and stuff. I'm like, please stop. Why do you have like a 10 million subscriber YouTube channel?
yeah.
That's awfully troubling.
I mean, I'm depressed thinking about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like your YouTube channel seems to be taken off and pretty quickly, pretty precipitously.
I hope so.
And you got your own podcast, your own
I
going
hope
too.
so, because I would love to not have to get a job in the next like 20 days because it's coming up. Whenever unemployment like gets cut off or whatever, like the extra unemployment money, like once that ends, I'm like, I got it. I'm gonna have to go back to bartending. So we'll see.
I also want to not
I'll
have
see
a
what
job.
I can do.
I think
Yeah, you should try it.
we've been trying it for 4 years. I think another one of your video series that I liked a lot was I can't remember the exact names of the videos, but it was the documentaries you would see from the 1950s that all came from one guy.
Oh, the Sid Davis thing.
Yeah, the Sid Davis thing, that he had zero qualifications to speak on anything, but he made all of those like weird sort of cheesy after school special sort of videos about like, hey, don't do drugs, hey, don't be gay, hey, and like the fact that like so many things that we think of now in terms of like our conceptualization of reality in terms of these things that he made videos of were like largely informed by this one guy, which is like horrifying to think that he took control of the American culture narrative for decades upon decades, you know?
It's so much of it. I mean, so much of culture is dominated by fear, I think, but that's all he was. It was just like, hey, like, here's something really terrible that could happen to you and your family. Like, let's like fucking change how we live so that so this never happens. And it's just so silly. And like being afraid of like gay people and stuff for sure. And it's like, we see it now too with like the trans panic. And it's just ridiculous. This whole idea that like, they're coming for you. Like, what?
Yeah.
No way. That was a fun one. That one, I like didn't really keep doing it because it was just kind of one of those things where like, it was fun to do, but then like it didn't really get any traction, and I was like, okay, I think I'm just gonna stop doing this. Like, I don't know, maybe that's a bad attitude to have.
Yeah, I mean, you go with what works,
you guys can
but
critique me on that if you want.
You could always go back to them though, too. You know, if you get more of
that's
a
true.
wider
It's been like 4 months or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And then you also started doing a podcast also recently too, right?
Yes, because making videos is a very lonely business. And so I love podcasts. I love listening to podcasts and stuff. And I was like, well, maybe I can just like interview some cool people. And like, ideally, it's like mostly funny stuff. But then like sometimes they're more serious. I don't know. It's relatively new. I'm still kind of figuring out exactly the formula for it. But it's been really nice to just like collaborate with people. And like, I got a really cool one coming out Monday. Like, I don't even know how I pulled it off.
Oh, shoot. Cool.
So,
are you allowed to say who's on it?
Yeah,
or you want to wait till that comes out?
Yeah, it's my podcast. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, I guess you didn't sign any NDAs or anything?
No. So it's the singer of Eve 6.
Oh, shit.
And the singer of Bass Drum of Death, John Barrett.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Bass Drum of Death. It's an amazing band. And I just like made them play a game show for 30 minutes.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Well,
I don't know. I was just like, I don't know how I did this. So it was really great. It was hilarious. They're super funny.
You said that comes out Monday?
And I'm like, yeah.
Well, that should be up at the time people are listening to this. So check that out right after this one. But finish this one first. That is important. Do not stop listening to this.
You have to finish this one or else you're not going to understand what happens.
Yeah.
In the one that I recorded last week. But yeah, so I'm kind of like, the other thing with the podcasting is it's much easier to edit. Like, it takes me an hour maybe to edit it instead of like 8 hours. And that can be kind of nice.
Sure.
But I also sometimes I just like run out of video ideas that I feel super passionate about. And so it's nice to go and just like talk to someone else about something instead of making like a whole scripted video.
Makes sense.
Just do what we do and make 2 scripted videos a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
I mean, I wouldn't agree with that, but it's
hard.
All, yeah, I mean, just given our schedules and everything going on.
Dude,
hey, you know what?
Life is fucking hard, but yeah, go ahead.
They shut the world down for a year and a half, all right? Cut us some slack. We're doing good. We're doing fine.
Yeah.
We're hanging in.
You guys are doing great.
Thank you.
Speaking of doing great, we got a brand new episode of our spin-off podcast, Fire Bros.
So threatening with the gun.
Oh yeah, it's not even. I don't know. I just like it. You know, I like.
He feels powerful.
Yeah.
I like the weight of it. I like just throwing it around. But I want to say Fire Bros.
Tell me about your spin-off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
He feels the privilege running through his veins.
You all at home, you can go to patreon.com/thoughtcops. Check it out for just $2 a month. You get access to every single episode we've ever done of Fire Bros. It's a whole lot of fun because this month we recorded an episode with our dear friend Josh, aka Sleep Science, and we reviewed 4 different pieces of media, which I forgot what they were. Grant, what were those?
Oh, motherfucker. God damn.
List them off. Let's go.
Fuck. I'm Googling
Go to-
Fire Bros.
go
That's
to
not
a-
even how to do it.
Here, I can find out really
No, I
quick.
got it.
This is-
Patreon.com/thoughtcops again is that link. And the newest post.
We reviewed Nobody, Aeon Flux, Chinatown, and Nirvana, the band, the show. So check that out. It was a lot of fun. And like I said, you get access to all the other Fire Bros episodes we did along the way too. And if you like it,
That's amazing.
go ahead and leave us any suggestions, any other pieces of media that you want us to go ahead and watch or consume, and we'll review it on the show. And we're actually going to be
Awesome.
recording the next one relatively soon. We already are.
Hopefully, yeah, within the next.
Let's
So is
let's
that like
not.
a joke on like? Is it like a joke because it's like cops and fire department?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
that's the whole
basically.
joke.
Oh.
We're like toddlers playing with toys.
Is this like?
I want to be a fireman.
Is this like what you guys
Yeah.
wanted to be when you grew up?
No.
Is that what you guys wanted to be
absolutely
when you grew up?
not.
Cop.
No, I
Yeah,
knew I
not-
wanted. I knew I wanted to be a
Yeah.
podcaster from a very young age. It just was, what theme will I choose?
Right, yeah. Since 1994 is when he decided.
Yeah.
When you were 4
Yeah.
years old.
When
When did podcasts start? Like 2003?
I think 2006.
Oh, okay.
I want to say because
Yeah, when was the iPod out?
that was out earlier, but I think like I want to say one of the earliest one I'm aware of is Yeah Dude, which I believe is still going, and that was 2006. I know we can go back in history here and look up what the first podcast was to find out for ourselves.
It was called the Joe Rogan Experience.
Never heard of it.
2004, apparently.
Wow.
It was called Call Her Daddy.
Okay.
She's been
God.
going since 2004. I've never like listened to that, but I just always like see it, and it's just I don't know what it is. It's like when you see like biohazard symbols on like the outside of a plastic bag. You're like, oh, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah,
Like,
for me that
that's how I
is
feel when
the
I see.
Yeah.
the Barstool Sports logo is the same effect.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like ooh, don't touch that. You don't want to get diseases. I don't know.
You're joking, but it is possible. If you consume too much Barstool Sports media, you can catch venereal disease.
Speaking of catching
Yeah.
diseases,
You heard that
we
here
Of the
first,
mind.
folks.
speaking of catching diseases, we have a new live show.
Oh! And you listen. I want to go on record and say it's 100% guaranteed you will not catch a disease at our live show. You can quote me on that.
Right.
If you come to the Lincoln Lodge on August 26th, that's a Thursday night. It's 7
Oh, did
p.m.
I write the wrong date down?
Yes, you did.
Oops.
If you come there on August 26th at 7 p.m. with 7 to 10 of your closest friends who laugh loudly, you will not get a disease. That's a promise.
Yeah, bring some fucking people. Let's try and sell this one out. The last one was just practice, but like if we could sell that out, that'd be great.
And this one's
Bring
at
everybody you know.
the last one was at 11 p.m. I know some of you folks got early bedtimes. You don't want to get in trouble for staying up too late.
Where?
You got to have your baby bottle. I get it. But this one's at 7 p.m. No fucking excuses. Show up at the Lincoln Lodge, August 26th. Tickets in this episode description. Just go ahead and scroll down. Buy 1, buy 5, buy 7. I won't fucking stop you.
If IO Netrunner can drive here from, I don't want to dox him, but
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
from a different state.
He said it at the live show, didn't he?
If people can drive here from other states, then
Yeah, what's your excuse, everybody?
Yeah, what's your excuse, Chicagoland,
Check it out.
Called out.
the Delta Tour, some Raul comments. Thanks.
No.
Appreciate it.
No.
Speaking of the show.
Oh, the
Why
show.
Don't we get back to
we got to
doing
do
it?
that show. Let's move right along to 2 Minutes of Hate.
This
which is
show?
A very
This
famous,
show.
very favorite segment of this show in which you like to blanket punish all that annoying, random crap that we see on the internet every single day of our lives. I'm sick of it, Grant. I'm tired of
Yeah.
it. And I'm here to talk about it to get it off my chest because I find it to be rather therapeutic.
This is like a hazardous workplace.
Why do you say that?
You're throwing guns. You're slamming things. You're gesturing broadly.
I'm trying to
I feel
one of us has
harassed
to
and
be
threatened.
on and just like on fire the whole episode. So,
I
forget.
still think as a practical joke one day we should just completely flip that around.
I'll think about it. But I want to say that my 2 minutes of hate this week is the bed frame discourse.
Oh!
I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm all this talk about these bed frames. You ever see this on Twitter, Kelgore? I mean, it's probably impossible to avoid at this
Yeah,
point.
of
It's
course.
people who are saying, it starts off as somebody who's like, would you ever fuck a guy or go home with a guy who has a bed on the floor? That means you're a bad person or whatever the case is. And you have all these other people coming to fight them on it and say, yeah, you're just talking about the guys that you willingly sleep with, people that have their beds on the floor. And it's like, first of all, who cares? Okay. It's like, I don't understand.
Okay. I agree with you, but I also think that it is okay to 100% like just absolutely destroy and make fun of any guy you sleep with. That's fine.
Sure. But why the bed frames? Leave the frames out of it, or the lack thereof.
Oh, yeah, no, it's stupid. It's stupid.
No shame. No shame. Listen.
It's Western chauvinism.
Right.
I don't know.
In many Eastern
I just
countries,
said that
they
to
don't
sound
have
cool.
bed frames. I don't know. I'm assuming that. I don't
What
know.
do they have?
Yeah.
Nothing. They just sleep on the floor. And they're fine
Hey,
with it.
it's good for your back.
And they don't get fucking dragged on Twitter for it either.
They sleep in a hole in the ground,
Yeah.
okay?
And it's good for your soul.
Guys, you live like this?
Yeah,
you
damn.
live like No, yeah, I think that like whatever kind of bed frame you want. The one thing I won't fuck with is those guys that build them out of pallets. No, fuck you.
Jesus.
No, also
We're not having sex on that.
for the record, I do. I people in the chat are saying that I don't have a bed frame. I do have a bed frame. Okay, it's a metal bed frame. It's nothing special,
Good job, man.
but I am able to store extra boxes and other things under the bed that it would normally be taking up
Nice.
extra space in my room. So that's what I would say a bed frame is best for, to have the extra storage space. But there's no shame if you can't afford one or you don't have one. I think that's perfectly
Yeah.
normal. And I don't think anyone should be dragged on Twitter for it. But overall, I'm just sick and tired of hearing about it. I'm just...
Yeah.
And every smart aleck response is the same thing. They're saying, "Oh, like I said, you're just talking about the people like you're just projecting because these are the people that you sleep with." And it's like, you know what? Who cares about this?
Who cares who sleeps with who,
Yeah.
so long as they're above the age
Yeah, you
of 18?
should just care who you're sleeping with, really.
Right.
Yeah. Obviously,
mind your-
you know,
yeah,
we're
mind
not
your own
gonna-
business.
Nothing crazy, but like you should be probably concerned with your own bullshit.
Right.
But I will say, I have to, as much as I think the bed frame thing is so stupid and ridiculous, and I don't even care if you have a bed frame, I will say that dunking on dudes is okay and does not mean that you don't love them, because I post shit about my husband all the time, and I dunk on his ass, and I love him very much.
I mean,
And people are like, get a better man when I like make these jokes about how you like can't put the fucking dishes away right or something. They're like, you shouldn't be fucking married to this piece of shit. And I'm like, chill.
Jesus
My
Christ.
God.
Yeah. It's so bad.
Never share anything
Like,
about your personal
I
life
get to
on
say
the
that.
internet.
You don't get to say that. Yeah, I mean, it is really funny, a lot of his antics. So I have to. Sorry.
It's for the content.
I always wonder,
I gotta
like,
do it for the content. He loves it too. He reads every reply.
I always wonder when people take it a step too far, like whether or not they're joking also, because you can tell a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
But there's like this just fucking irony shit that always seems to happen with this type of stuff, where it's just like, oh, well, I was joking too, but like, I just took it this way, and your interpretation of that was too far, is actually you fell for my joke, you idiot. And it's like, I don't know, whatever. Just post a GIF and
I will say,
pop out.
for most really silly discourse topics like the bed frame thing, or like, you know, a certain way of like loading the dishwasher or some stupid shit like that. I don't care if there's layers of irony, but it's when people post these like really bad hot takes and then they come back and they're like, that was an irony post, and you're like,
Nah,
I don't know, was it worth it?
did not track.
There were some really bad ones yesterday. I don't know. I think you guys saw them.
I'm sure I did.
Maybe. I don't know.
But
I don't even know if I can speak their names.
I do have a punishment for these women who are shaming people who don't have bed frames on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think they should take a page out of Snoopy's book and sleep on the top of their of the doghouse in the backyard on their back. You know,
Doghouse. That's where the men sleep.
well,
Who?
Well, they sleep on the women sleep on the top. The men can sleep in the doghouse.
yeah, just for a change, you know.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
look at Snoopy. He's awesome. Who's gonna
Yeah.
fucking complain about living like Snoopy?
True.
He flies a
So
fighter
you're saying
plane.
more women should be like Snoopy.
I think all people could be more like Snoopy. Learn a little bit out of him, or a little bit out of his book. He doesn't.
That's
He
true.
I like how he laughs. Doesn't he? I don't remember.
Do it again so I can get a good.
No, absolutely not. Kelgore, what's your 2 minutes of
Yeah, I
pay this
don't
week? What's bugging you?
Okay, so I'm only supposed to do one, right?
Hey, whatever. Do whatever you want to do.
Well, okay.
Jesus Christ. We have no
Okay.
hold on the show.
Who cares?
Since I had a feeling that it was going to be discourse related, I just found the worst discourse I could find today, and I just figured I'd bring it to the episode.
Did you just Google discourse?
I just Googled discourse.
Like, oh, there it is.
This
No,
fucking
I just scrolled
Wikipedia
for,
article.
I don't know, 35 seconds and then found something terrible.
I'm surprised it took that long.
Okay, so a popular... I actually don't watch his videos, but there's a YouTuber called Sean Vids, and he has a little, like,
The skeleton
skull
guy?
as a profile picture.
Oh, yeah.
And
He makes some pretty
yeah.
good videos. I appreciate his work.
I've always heard that. Yeah, I've always heard that. And so I think because of that, I see him sometimes over on like my feed because people who I also follow him. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I should watch his videos. Doesn't matter. I'm sure he's great. He's probably a really lovely person, but this is really stupid. He posted today, he said, Stream Chat is mocking me for listening to music on 1.5 times speed. Thought it was a pretty common thing to do.
I did see this. I did
saw
see
that
this.
too,
What the fuck is wrong with him?
Yeah. That's like fucked up, right? First of
Yeah.
all, where are you even listening to your music to where it lets you do that? Because I've never seen that as an option on like Spotify or Apple Music.
YouTube, maybe?
Yeah,
Sorry, my
I'm
neighbor's being
assuming
really loud.
YouTube, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess because there's like the YouTube Music app, so maybe you can do it on there. But that's weird. That's really weird. And then he went on to like double down on that shit, and he said, I go up to 2 times speed if I just want to get a sense of a new album or something to see if I'll like it.
That's
Just
weird.
a me thing, I'm guessing, from the replies.
You know, though,
2 times speed to listen to an album?
I almost
weird.
can sort of understand it because I have like a weird perfectionism / completionist like disease in my head that makes me want to seek out a lot of shit that I don't actually want to end up
Mhm.
sitting through. And I sort of understand that if it's like, hey, if you're listening to a new discography of a band that you're not familiar with, maybe just like fucking put it on 2 times speed, see if you even like the shit, and then go back to it and listen to it again if you think that it's your thing. And if it's not, but I still wouldn't do it because that's not the point of music.
I mean, that's a whole different vibe and like sound if you listen
Yeah.
to it at like 1.5 or 2 times speed. It's
like
not
it
even the
ruins
same
it,
thing.
but
yeah.
I sort of I understand the logic, yet I disagree with it.
Like if you're listening to a slow
and
song
then
that's meant to be like,
he basically...
emotional and
Yeah,
like
moody.
impactful, and how you sit in that mood, and then you're let me listen to it at 2 times speed to see if I like it. It's not gonna fucking work.
Yeah, so he went on to say something about how you wouldn't judge somebody for reading the first chapter of a book or if they watched the first episode of a show just to get the feel for if they like it.
No, I wouldn't.
And the thing is, like, audiobooks, YouTube videos, podcasts, once in a while I will put them on 2 times speed, or like maybe not even 2 times. One of the only times I really use it is when I'm doing research for videos, because I have to go through like 40 Gary V videos and I just put it on like as fast as I can to find the clip that I'm looking for so I can steal it and put it in my video. But like music, I'm like the opposite. I'll listen to the same song 50 times for like 4 days in a row and just binge it over and over again. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done with you. And like, I'll listen to it again in 6 months. But like to listen to it on 2 times speed seems like it defeats the purpose.
And IoNetRun in the chat.
It seems like most people agree with us.
Yeah, IoNetRun in the chat brings up, I know this has been a point of contention with him on the show before. He listens to some podcasts at like 1.5 or 2 times speed. And he says in the chat here, podcasts and audiobooks are good just for getting the information. Who the fuck is listening to this show to get information?
That's like the last place you should get your information
I'm trying to figure out where you live.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where you live.
Mind.
That's the only information I need.
I will say, never mind.
Whatever.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Anyway.
I just want to hang out.
But I will say, like,
yeah,
it's
I just feel like we should maybe judge him for that.
Yeah, I mean, even though for like especially like a comedy podcast or any any comedy,
timing also is important for comedy.
Super important. Yeah, like that's just bizarre to me.
Yeah, I think pretty much for myself, the only time that I do double speed or whatever, 1.5 times speed, is if I'm like hate watching something and I just need to like get through it. But I also think with audiobooks sometimes, because sometimes narrators just really are really slow, but not usually. Only if it's like I'm just trying to get the information, not if it's like
rare
a
exceptions.
novel or something. Yeah, like if it was like if you were like doing homework, you're like, fuck yeah, put this on 2 times speed.
Sure.
You know, put it on repeat in your dreams or sleep or whatever.
So
is that a thing still? Remember that used to be a thing? You could buy those like cassettes to play at nighttime. To like help you lose weight or something.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, there were things like
Dude,
that.
this is like a thing in like the 90s. Yeah, you could like put these CDs on that would like, it was like dreamscapes. And it was like to hypnotize you in your sleep.
I'm sure there's something like that for like YouTube or something.
It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Play it at 2 times speed.
I'm sure.
You lose twice the weight. But Kelgor, what would you...
I wish instead of my channel, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you could are we punishing Sean here? I think that's...
Yeah. I think, he gets the punishment.
Sean and any of these other freaks who are consuming media at the improper speed.
Okay, the only thing is, if he just said... this is just my preference, and like we were just friends talking, I would say like, oh, okay, whatever, man, like that's weird, but okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reason I actually brought this as my 2 minutes of hate is because I felt like it was a little bit of bait. Like, I feel like either it was bait, like maybe in an ironic sense, or he was kind of like, I'm so quirky, right? Like, I know that this is weird, and I'm going to kind of act on the, like, I don't really know. Is this weird? Tell me if this is weird or not. And like, clearly it's weird.
Yeah, it seems performative and interaction.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It could be. I saw somebody.
A lot of interaction.
I saw somebody on Twitter say it was akin to Vosh saying the only he just started listening to music or something, and he's like, yeah, I like this thing called electro swing. And it just was one of those like embarrassing moments on Twitter, which I feel like the Sean thing is actually, yeah, I do feel like it's more similar to that. Like I would guess it was,
it's like,
you know, just like,
dude, I looked up electro swing after I saw that tweet, and it was like the worst thing I think I've ever heard. Like, I hate it so much, and I'm pretty
I feel like it's like that meme, like, guy who has only ever listened to electro swing.
Quite literally,
wow,
yes.
I'm getting real electro swing vibes from this.
Yeah, right.
Exactly that. Whoops.
But I think...
I guess that's just a bad take, Sean. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I would put Sean and all these other people, you know, I think...
Basically all of BreadTube.
All of these people who are saying that I don't have time to fucking listen to a song even, I'm putting you in timeout. I'm saying you need to chill. You need to just don't listen to anything. Don't watch anything. Just breathe. Just be present. You know, just be in the moment and then come back to reality, and you can listen to songs at the speed that they were meant to be listened to. You can watch movies at the speed they were meant to be watched. You don't have to watch Seinfeld on TBS at 1.3 times speed.
You do have to, because they make you watch it that way.
Go watch it on Hulu or wherever it is, because it's not sped up, or get the DVD box set. Whatever I'm saying is just,
I thought of something.
You know?
Yes.
I thought of something, and that is that the one time I wish that I could watch TV in like faster speed is reality TV. Because there's so much repetition, and it's like honestly really, it's like pretty boring in a way. And I'm like, let's just get through this, because they do all these like dramatic pauses and stuff. And I'm like, I don't care about that. I just want to know who Bret Michaels is marrying.
I mean, that's even like that's an editing problem too. It's like you don't even have to speed it up. Just like cut out the crap.
Well, and I kind of wish, okay, there were a lot of TV shows made for commercials, made to have commercials put into them, and now they're on streaming. And I'm like, I wish they would cut out those like the bumpers and the recaps and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very tedious. It's very tedious. I'm like, I didn't just turn this on and I don't have TiVo or something. Like, I'm watching this on Hulu. So I go like skip a minute, and then like skips ahead a minute.
Sometimes
Terrible.
I think that the commercial structure was like almost better for TV in some ways, because it has like this like 3-act structure for the different episodes.
I get that, but also like I don't want to be sold stuff anymore.
No, but like when you watch,
I'm tired of people trying to sell me things. Most things I don't want to buy anyway.
I'm saying when you're watching an older show without the ads, like on DVD, like just when you can tell where the commercial was supposed to be.
Sure.
It just feels like it's like structured like more properly, as opposed to streaming stuff. I feel like part of the problem with that, in my opinion, is that it just kind of goes on and on and on until the end a little bit, and it feels I don't know, kind of something with the pacing is very strange to me.
Sometimes I'm watching like the latest episode of something, you know, something I haven't seen before, and you know, it's probably like a 45-minute show or something, whatever, or whatever the fucking number is, and so it's like a 45-minute show. But if you paused it and you said, hey, how much time do you think is left in this show? I'd be like, I don't know, like in 20 minutes, 11 minutes, but it's like 1 minute left. And I'm like, how? And then like, they get you a lot where it just ends and you're like, no. And I think because there's no commercials, it's harder to like anticipate the end coming.
True.
Does that make sense?
Definitely. No, it does. It does.
I get that with movies a lot too, where it's just like, man, how fucking long is this movie?
And I guess that's actually a good
I just saw Pig
though.
yesterday.
I heard
that seemed like a pretty fast movie to me.
I heard that was good.
I want to watch that.
Yeah.
I
mean, I was late to the movie and I was pretty drunk, so
that's the best way to watch movies.
Yeah.
Late and drunk.
Drunk or
I'm fucking trashed. I missed the first 30 minutes. What's going on? Who are these guys? Grant, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those weirdos that didn't. Oh, yeah. Let's do your 2 minutes of hate. Do we have to execute Sean Vids?
Oh, no, I put him in timeout. He's fine. He won't be. He won't.
Good. Okay.
You know, he won't be murdered. He'll just be.
I have an addendum to that. Since Kelgore said that it was a bait post, we take after these fish that are in our background, and we take that bait, we pull him up to the surface. He's flopping around. He can't breathe anymore. I
just realized this is the second guest in a row who's in front of a fish background.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yes, I am, and it is a shower curtain, but I'm not in my bathroom.
And we all thought that was the case. Cleared that up, thank God.
Yeah.
Is that supposed?
And if I was, so what? Okay.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, who cares?
So what?
Hey, if I could do this show from my fucking toilet, I would. You gonna judge me?
Well, yeah, because I have to be in the room with you.
No, I'll be remotely.
Oh, okay, good.
Or you could sit in the shower and like close the. You
no, I don't want to do that.
Okay, fine.
Anyway,
Thought Cops Toilet Edition.
Finally,
Toilet Edition. The whole show's the Toilet Edition.
Yeah. All the toilet humor on this show. Give me a break.
My 2 minutes of hate this week. Okay, this is going to come off as white knighty.
Okay.
And it's not on purpose. It's not on purpose, okay? I accept.
Am I gonna make fun of you for this?
You can. But my whole
just
point,
like old times.
My whole thing is the very conceptualization of comedy and how people utilize it and how it brings us together and how just some people like don't understand that. And when they get like called on it, like double down and shit like that. So I saw this tweet. I don't know who this person is. I love that that's always how I intro a bit, is just like, I don't know how this person.
Don't know what's happening.
Don't know what's happening.
I don't even care about them.
I don't even care. But Ellie T on Twitter tweets, I made a joke TikTok that I don't believe Ohio is a real place, and Ohio has found it and is very upset. So I'm going to share this video. We can watch this real quick right now.
Hello, welcome to a new series I am calling States I Don't Believe Are Real. First up is Ohio. I don't believe Ohio is a real place. I've never been there. I don't know anyone who's been there. If you think Ohio is a real place, or if you're claiming to be from Ohio, prove it. Prove it.
So, like, this video is very obviously a joke, right? Like,
obviously, yeah.
She Googled Ohio.
No, I think she's a bigot.
Well, like, there's like a trend of people making this type of content and saying like, oh, like people make this type of content or this type of material and they actually are stupid, and people are like, hey, are you dumb or something? Hey, buddy, did you just blow in from Stupid Town?
You just get off the assembly line at the dumb factory?
But sometimes the joke is like right in front of you. And there's also like this thing that plays into it, this concept of like, and I see these comments a lot still online on like any like female comedian's page of like, women can't be funny. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that there's just some guys out there that don't understand women's senses of humor, and it just flies over their head, and they're just too like stupid to realize that it's a joke. And I'm not even saying necessarily this video, but that entire page that's like women posting their L's.
I was just going to bring that up.
And a lot of them are just like joke posts, and it's all these people dunking on a joke. And then the person says, hey, this was a joke. What are you, all stupid? And then they like double down on it and say, well, actually, there are people that do it. And it's like, you got. And you got trolled, you fucking idiot.
And I'm here like, yeah, actually, there are people who criticize guys who don't have bed frames. I just realized it all came full circle, and I'm the bad guy.
It's very frustrating.
I think it's pretty clearly, I'm not mad at her. She seems like she made a funny post that I think she laid it on pretty thick.
Right.
But my thing is, and I've seen this on Twitter, where people like you see a conversation happen, and maybe like, especially if it's about either a funny movie or about stand-up comedy. And then towards the end, one of the people is like, yeah, but I don't like stand-up comedy. And I'm like, you should have to put that in your bio. That says so much about you. Like, you just don't like any stand-up comedy. Stop trying to decide what is funny and not, because that's like a super weird point of view, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like any of it?
And also, like,
may I recommend Electro Swing?
Now that's comedy.
Yeah, the electro swing form of comedy.
And I feel like, especially with the internet and how there's just like more diverse types of media and stuff like that, that like people are able to be funny in different ways. And like, that is not just the traditional, like, oh, you go on stage and you tell some jokes. It's like, yeah, people talk about their experiences, and sometimes that's the funniest thing. Like, that's why I think that podcasts and like just conversational humor is like inherently a funny thing to sort of tap into, because it's like you don't have to invent things. Like when people trip over words or say stupid things and you sort of have the back and forth banter, like that's a different form of comedy. People making dumb videos, making dumb posts, like there's more ways to be funny online. And when people like don't get the joke, or don't get that jokes exist outside of like like, oh, you're so funny, tell a joke, whatever. Like, I can't tell you how many videos I've seen where it's like, guy on the street goes into a crowd of women. People say women aren't funny, tell a joke. And it's like, who the fuck? You're telling people to do knock-knock jokes? Knock-knock jokes aren't funny.
You've done that to so many of the guests on this show.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Tell a joke.
Yeah,
funny man.
It's good. It's a good bit.
We're both the villains
it's a
on
good
this
bit.
one.
Yeah. Bad cop,
Basically.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess my punishment. Yeah, go ahead.
Punish them. No, I was just gonna say, like, I just think that people have a hard time getting humor sometimes, and that's fine. But I don't get why they're like putting their necks out for it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't really get something, just be like, I don't really, like, just keep scrolling. But like they decide they're like, I'm gonna die on this hill of like telling this person that this isn't funny when that's like a subjective thing.
I think I've probably told this story on the show once, and if I did, it was a long time ago. But I was at a Clickhole live show. This is like 6 or 7 years ago at IO Theater here in Chicago, the now defunct IO Theater, and there was this couple sitting in front of me at the show. It was clearly like the guy was into it and he brought along his girlfriend or a date or something. And there was this like very funny sketch they were doing on stage. They had like a PowerPoint and everything. And I remember like I was like laughing so fucking hard and I was like sitting right behind them. And all of a sudden like the girl gets up and she's like, this isn't funny. This isn't fun. Like at full volume, like, and it was like nobody, like they kept like trying to like go on with this the sketch on stage, and she's like, I don't know why people are laughing at it, to the guy, but also like looking around, like fully audible, like I don't know why people think this is funny. It's like it's really stupid, and no one should be laughing at this. It makes no sense. It's stupid. And then she just
Her
like
impeccable taste.
and then she just like walks out.
Part of me wonders if that was like a. Do you think that she was like a plant?
No, I don't. I don't, because like the guy was like looked so fucking embarrassed. Like he was still sitting there,
because that would be like a clickhole ass thing to do.
That's what I thought that was possible, but it was like very
like person doesn't get humor. I don't know.
No, it was like very much like the guys on stage were like super uncomfortable doing it, and the sketch had like they were very deep into this like high concept thing they were already doing. And this lady just gets up and like rude as fuck, and it was just funny because
she's a reply guy.
I was laughing the hardest in the whole room, and I was like sitting right behind her, so I feel like I must have like triggered something in her to be like, "That's enough!" Just having her falling down moment right there in the theater.
I can see that you do sometimes bring out the worst in the people around you.
I don't know why.
I saw Tom Segura a couple years ago, and I was like, it was like, the little tables at the comedy club, and I'm sitting there with my husband, and next to us is this big guy with like a bunch of like, I don't know, he had like a bunch of like 49ers gear on and shit, and like bald head, I don't know. And he's sitting there, and he's laughing so loud at every joke. And then Tom Segura starts making fun of Catholics, and this dude fucking blew up.
God.
He got so mad and was like, "You're not funny. This isn't funny." And he got up and left, and they like took him out. They like made him get out. And he was just like pissed because, but like, I feel like Catholics have got to be used to that at this point, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
Like a little like Catholic humor, just like making fun of them or something. He was like doing an impersonation of like a Catholic person. I forget what the joke was.
Yeah.
But it was just the weirdest thing because like the dude was clearly having the time of his life right up until that moment. And he just was like a hothead.
And it's like, even like in that example, it's like,
just laugh through it, man.
I get like being offended, but it was just like, there was nothing offensive happening at this show in particular. This lady just was like, and I've seen that happen like at a different show too. And also, ironically enough, it was like a live, like some of the Onion writers were doing a live show, and it was like the same thing where somebody who I was with, a friend of a friend, I'm not going to name, but it was very fucking uncomfortable because this person was like, I don't get it. Just like to no one, but out loud.
Like out loud?
Yes. It's like,
oh no.
Your monologue can stay up here. It's fine. You don't have to say everything that comes to your head, especially at a live show. And that was another example where one of the performers like actually at one point had to stop what they were doing and like, listen, can you please be quiet? Like we're trying to, do a performance here. And then she's like, well, it's not funny. It's like, oh my God, like just fucking shoot me. was so
I
embarrassing.
mean, I've had a lot of bad days, but I don't think I would ever have the fucking gall to do anything like that. Like, you know, I think I can be like unintentionally rude, but I don't think I would ever just be like, yeah, I'm going to sit here and just like tell these performers that they're not funny.
Dude, I would love if someone did that at a Thought Cops live show and I could just go off because
Oh,
it's just
man,
like
I'm so
it
ready.
doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gunning for it, man. That'd be awesome.
I
Because
feel
it's like we have no structure. Like this is the Thought Cops live show is right. It's just we do this.
more or less.
It's
yeah.
like you're gonna talk to me, I'll talk to you back. I want it. I need it.
Where were we though, Grant? Did you?
did I punish?
I don't think so.
What was my? Oh,
Jesus Christ.
these men.
Yes.
Men.
Take them to task.
They need to get bed frames.
It's time to grow up, man.
If you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news story and then sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often unusual punishment.
That's right, Grant. So let's begin here. God, what do you want to start with this week? There's so many great choices. Let's talk about actually, I got one. Let's talk about a story near and dear to our hometown here
Ooh.
of Neo Chicago. So there is a Twitter account called Chicago Party Ant. Have you ever seen this, Kelgore? Chicago Party Ant.
Like literally yesterday for maybe 4 seconds. It looks like a one of those Family Guy spinoffs.
Well, that's actually what I want to get at
Yeah.
here because this is like a character somebody's been doing on Twitter for years, and it's
very niche comedy. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I was at the Jewel parking lot and gave a blowjob to Brian Urlacher or whatever.
Right,
and it's
right.
just like, you know, that type of, like, we all know.
a Chicago
Everybody
Party
in
Ant.
Chicago knows someone that's like this.
It's specific, but that's
yeah, and
why
so does
it's
everybody
funny.
not in Chicago because people from Chicago move everywhere and then tell those jokes to
Right.
everyone.
Yeah, we
that
never
they
we never
know.
grow out of it.
Yeah, like
They're
I don't
funny.
know. It's fine. I mean, I married one, so
Oh, he's from Chicago?
It's always funny.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, okay, he doesn't tell people he's from Chicago because he's not from Chicago.
He should.
His parents are born and raised in Chicago, but he grew up in like the Chicagoland
Okay,
area.
well, yeah, so did we.
And so, you know.
But now
Yeah.
we're here. So this show, so like I said, Chicago Party Ant's been a Twitter account for a while. So I guess it got greenlit for a Netflix animated series, which I think, I don't know, like on paper sounds like it actually might not be the worst idea. An image of it surfaced though, where, like you said, Kelgore, looks like crap. It's this horrible Family Guy mock-off style. We got to stop this. We got to stop
Every
making
cartoon
cartoons
looks like this nowadays. Is this what you would call Cal Arts?
No, that's not. CalArts
No.
is more like Steven Universe looking stuff. This is more like just flat line art. I think it's because it's very easy to make.
I don't know the difference.
Well, like
I just don't care enough.
if you like,
Oh, so that art only existed as of yesterday?
yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, because I'm looking online, I see her old profile picture is like a real person.
Yeah, so that's
It's like a photograph.
yeah. I don't even know who that photograph is of. I think it's just like one of those things that like you would see in like a beauty salon or something like that, and it looks
For sure.
It looks
Yeah.
correct. It looks like that's the type of person, which is like what was one of the funnier aspects of the account in the first place. But yeah, so this image is new. That's like obviously not a real person. It's a parody account, but yeah, this is what it looks like.
A lot of people got RuPaul, like Barinholtz. I don't know. That's the only two people I recognize on the list. But
Bill Oakley was a consulting producer on the show.
okay, well, that
Maybe
bodes
it'll
well.
be
Yeah,
not bad.
hopefully so. But yeah, I mean, what I want to kind of move.
So, but it's pretty popular amongst Chicago people, this account. Like it's
Yeah, more or less.
pretty
more,
well known.
more or
Geared
less.
towards people, but I don't know how well it's known necessarily.
I know,
Outside of like Twitter.
I know we've tweeted that or like over the years from like the Thought Cops account.
Tried to get around Thought Cops, but was too busy talking to Netflix, I guess.
Yeah. So what?
I mean, maybe Graham, maybe you can do a voice on that show because I feel like
Ooh,
I don't know.
There you go.
I mean, on TikTok, You got your Chicago dudes be like,
Dudes from Chicago.
Episode where she dates the dude from Chicago, and you guys go on a date to the Dave Matthews Poop Bridge.
Not gonna lie,
exactly.
I'm in the works of making an entirely new Dave Matthews video as we speak. I can show you the footage
Hell
on
yeah.
my phone. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be one of my greatest works.
So
Amazing.
a lot of people are dunking on this, as it were, because they're saying they're follow shaming this account. There's a lot of people who are saying they're making a Netflix cartoon for a 40,000 Twitter account or 40,000 follower Twitter account. And it's like people who may or may not have more than that on Twitter. It's like, listen, man, like if you're more interesting than that, then pitch a fucking show to Netflix. They'll probably make it.
Yeah, like,
Go for it.
They make a lot of crap.
like the dudes that made Always Sunny were just like 3 broke actors in LA that were just like shooting home video footage of a pilot. Like it doesn't, like, your follower count on Twitter is not what makes you
It shouldn't mean anything.
have a TV show or not. You know,
It's like, it's because it's like a character. It's a weirdly fully developed character done through
Right.
Twitter. And it's about
Right.
Chicago, you know? Hey, people don't want to talk like that here. But
they sort of talk like fuck.
Hey!
They
talk
kinda
talk
like this a
They
little
talk
bit.
like this.
A deep dish jardinera.
Yeah.
I gotta get a gerb. But people are also shitting on our fine city, saying like Chicago sucks. Chicago humor sucks. I like all these people are like I coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden and like just, oh, this is stupid. They don't have enough followers, and Chicago's a stupid city. Anyone who lives there is stupid.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that's
No.
pretty hurtful. As somebody who has no stake in
Yeah,
whatever
that's
this
a ridiculous
cartoon
thing to
is,
say. It's like,
Yeah.
what, the 4th largest city in the U.S. or something
Third.
like that?
I think.
3 or
Third?
4. I don't know if
where's
It's something like that, yeah.
I think Houston is coming up.
I just know those people who have like those tote bags and it says like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago,
Right.
Tokyo. And you're like, yeah, Chicago's in there.
The Big Four of America.
yeah.
Why do people have those bags? Like, I don't get it. I just saw this lady wearing this actually kind of sick jacket yesterday, and it said New York, Los Angeles, and then there was like an embroidered like tiger in front of like Mount Fuji or something on the back of her jacket. Like the drive jacket, except for a woman who has been to both Los Angeles and New York.
Hell yeah.
But I was like, why does your jacket just say Los Angeles, New York? That doesn't mean anything.
And I mean,
Like, where did you get the jacket? In Los Angeles or in New York?
From
Probably neither.
From Forever
Probably just at, like,
21.
H&M.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
in the suburbs.
Yeah.
But Chicago
No,
has
I
always
mean,
been
I'll shit on any city, but not for any real reasons.
like Chicago's always kind of had
Silly.
a self-aware sense of humor about itself. I mean, that's why we are, the second city is because we were, at one point the second biggest city, to New York City, and that was like,
Yeah, it's a point of pride to be like, yeah, we're not you fucks.
yeah, hey, fuck this, we don't
Yeah.
care. So yeah, lay off.
Well, hey, now
everybody.
you guys can be all like underdog, and you get to have that righteous indignation,
I
right?
already
Finally.
got it.
Because people were mean to you.
Exactly.
Definitely not holding on to anything like that.
Hold on.
Sure.
I'm going to adjust my little light here. It's getting darker. It's still sunny out. Because I'm on the West Coast.
So I'm trying to think of
Probably sunny there, too.
a good punishment here for people who, hey, you know what? People who are we're gonna come to your house. We're gonna make a show about your Twitter account that has so many followers and the podunk shithole that you live in.
Yeah.
Get ready,
Fucking idiots.
and it's gonna look worse than Family Guy or fucking Brickleberry. It's like,
What the fuck?
you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
it's like,
So-
Google it. It looks like it's the most like it.
No, I know. Yeah. It's every show that's come out in the last, 10 years. They use that animation style.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
yeah.
it's just
Like
a fucking computer making it or something.
looks awful.
I don't get it.
just void. And I think it was Felix
Dude,
Biederman.
fucking Newgrounds looks like everything on Newgrounds looks 100 times better than
and like
this.
20
Like,
years ago, even.
just hire the Newgrounds, but just like you can pay the people that do Newgrounds stuff, that do all of their own animation and like all their own voice acting. You can pay them 1/10 of what you paid fucking all these people on here. You can do a shoestring budget and they'll overperform and they'll be fucking happy. And then you should obviously give them a raise, but like make better shit, man. Come on.
I mean, and the visual aesthetics are important. I think like Felix Biederman on Twitter said something where, because they just showed a trailer for some HBO Max cartoon that looks the exact same like this stuff.
Right.
It's called The Royals, I think, and it's about the royal family. Looks absolutely horrible.
Oh my God, I was going to bring that up.
Horrible.
No, it's called The Prince.
The Prince. And he said like
that is the worst thing I have seen. I was going to bring that up because that is terrible.
It's like,
if you have not seen that trailer, go watch it.
No matter how good the writing is, this stuff that all looks like the same factory made crap just washes over you. It doesn't matter how funny or insightful it is. It's just completely immemorable. You know, and
yeah, but even like if it was good animation, it looks so bad. Like the content looks so bad.
Yeah.
And that example,
I was going to ask you guys, what do you have any animated show, I guess movies too, but shows that you really like the animation style other than Family Guy, Brickleberry, and The Prince?
You mean like recent ones
Chicago
or old
Party
ones?
No, just any of them. I'm just wondering, like, what kind of animation.
You know, for some reason, the first one that popped into my head, because I was like
Big
thinking
Mouth.
of no, like when I was thinking back to,
God.
I know people always reference like, oh, cartoons are better in the '90s, but I feel like there was more variety and more like,
well, and so many things were hand drawn, and it wasn't just like fucking kicked out, you know, sort of shit.
Like for some reason, the cartoon that just popped in my head, I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite looking one, but at least it had a very significant identity to it. Was Duckman on like Comedy Central? It was
I don't think I know it.
Jason Alexander played the main character. It was this talking duck. He was a detective or something, and it was on HBO or Comedy Central back in the early '90s. But it just has this really cool style. And another one that pops in my mind that is very visually striking for me is Mission Hill. I love how it looks, and I feel like, you know, you brought up Bill Oakley earlier. He co-created that.
Right.
It's well written, and it just pops off the screen so well. Instead of this just like flat, just lazy crap. What about
one of my favorites stylistically is the original Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they use these like both real. It's like half collage, half animation. I don't know. I think it's really cool. Archer kind of does that too. Like the backgrounds and stuff will be like real.
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah.
Archer was cool. Like at least in terms of animation, I thought it was.
And I think Archer is kind of like
it
was kind of like branching off of a lot of those William Street Adult Swim cartoons. Like I know Grant and I were just talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force before recording.
Yeah.
And they also did C-Lab, similar style, which those guys were the ones who went on to make Archer. So what about you, Grant?
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know how The Simpsons, I mean, obviously The Simpsons is hilarious, but like for me, they're so disgusting to look at.
Like for like all
their little yellow bodies
like
and their spiky
in general,
heads.
You don't like looking at them?
I just mean like I don't like I don't know what compelled anyone to make them look like that.
To look like that.
But it worked. Yeah, that's...
You got a problem with this guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll make fun of you for it if that's what you want.
I mean, I
like,
Grant pulled my sleeve up.
Though.
I was not prepared to get bullied tonight.
Okay. What I'm saying is I love The Simpsons and I think it's super funny, but like never in a million years would I have made them little yellow spiky heads.
Something about The Simpsons, right? And I don't know
how did that happen.
I don't know if it's like the resurgence of like the weird vaporwave aesthetic or something like that, but like some of those like episodes of The Simpsons with like the weird sort of soft color contrast and stuff like that is very like just has like a lived in feel.
Yes.
that like it's very distinct, you know, like
Remember that documentary? I think I mentioned it as a key to the city in a recent episode where they talked about like the different eras of animation for that show.
Yeah.
And even like I think like the peak like season 4, season 5 era, they made a distinct effort to have it look like that and have their pupils be big and have this sort of like hand drawn, and that with that writing it goes hand in hand.
And some of like the just the color contrasts and stuff like that is very just it gives me a warm feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the shows like this, I mean, it's a shame I guess to bring it back to whatever we're talking about, Chicago Party Ant.
Right.
It just doesn't inspire much confidence. You know, maybe it could be the fucking funniest show in the world, and I don't know. At the end of the day, just
you know what I miss, in terms of like favorite animation styles and stuff like that, and I feel like this will never come back, and it's hard to pull off. And there were only a couple shows that did it, but they were, I think, some of the best comedy shows. And you look at some of the people that used to work on them and stuff like that, but it was like anything Squiggle Vision.
I knew you were going to bring that up, like home movies, Dr. Katz.
What does that mean again?
Like, where the borders and boundaries were very like wiggly and stuff like that.
Ed,
like,
Eddie was kind of like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to a certain point. But like you,
yeah.
You look at some of like the voice
Go ahead.
actors that were on some of the Squiggle Vision shows, and it's just like fucking like Sam Cedar did a lot of voices for him. That's where like John Benjamin got his start. Like Sarah Silverman was on a lot of like Louis C.K. was, David Cross, like a lot of really big names in the 90s got their fucking start on like Dr. Katz and shit like that. And that animation style went so well with like the lazy conversational discourse that happened in the episodes where it's just like two dudes in a room sort of talking over each other. Like it
sounds familiar.
It was very just like perfect for that type. And like I don't think they'll ever make shows like that again, and they'll never use Squiggle Vision
Doesn't
again.
that seem like it was such an exciting era to be a part of in comedy?
Yeah.
Just like all this gritty sort of weird like adult animation was coming to the forefront, like like I mentioned early Simpsons, Duckman, stuff like that, and then like Dr. Katz you mentioned.
And it had like a natural like feel to it because it's like two dudes in a room cracking jokes at each other, and the animation's sloppy and the conversation is sloppy, and they're like you got like whereas everything's sort of like when it's presented for television it's supposed to be like clean and like precise, and everything about it was the opposite. Like
like it had
very appealing.
It had a certain edge to it too, without being like offensive. And like you mentioned, a lot of those people were like they were small fucking names at the time too. It was just a lot of these like very up and coming comedians who are like huge now. And just like compared to a lot of the other like sitcom bullshit at the time, it just Oh,
someone just asked if I like Futurama, and I was gonna say I love Futurama. I love not only the humor but the artistic style, but I just don't like that the Simpsons are yellow.
I was gonna say we've narrowed it down then to them just simply being colored yellow.
They're jaundice.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but also like I admit that it clearly worked.
I mean, they're memorable.
Like I know that like I'll still watch it. I'm just like how did you decide to make them yellow?
I think they realized
Walk me through
it popped off the screen better, they said.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I love Adventure Time. That's probably my favorite animation.
Yeah, that I
can think of off the top of my head.
I think that also was like right at the beginning of like the CalArts style sort of domination. Like it's before everyone got sick of
I think a lot of people took that and ran with it.
Exactly. And that's such a shame when that happens.
Just like as a show, I still love that show, and like I watch it with my kids and stuff, and like all the music that they tie into it and everything. I love it. I just love all of it. Although it's not necessarily like it's not like gritty adult humor.
It doesn't have to be,
It's enough.
Yeah.
Have you watched Over the Garden Wall?
No.
Oh, you should watch that. You would love it.
Is that a kid's thing?
It's
more
like
or less,
it's like a children's mini series. It's by a lot of the same people that did Adventure Time. I've made it like a yearly tradition to watch that around Halloween. That's like my Halloween tradition.
Yeah, it's
to
like
watch Over the Garden Wall.
6 episodes long.
Yeah,
nice.
it's great.
And I also really like I never really finished the show, but if you guys ever watched BoJack, you know the opening credits sequence?
Yeah.
Just specifically that. Like, not necessarily the show itself, but just the opening credits. Like, I wish the whole show looked like that.
Yeah.
But hey.
It's almost like when they
animal.
show like a video game trailer and you're like, yeah, this game looks awesome. And then you see like the gameplay footage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I was going to say that actually, Kelgore, what you're describing.
It is like that.
What you're describing is every single anime. Holy shit, this opening is crazy. There's rock and roll music playing.
maybe
They're
I
flying through space. And then it's like the rest of it's like, yeah, this is almost as good looking. They blow the budget on the
maybe
openings.
I should watch some anime. I heard anime's good.
That's the rumor on the streets these days.
I'm
and I gotta say,
rewatching Cowboy Bebop right
Yeah.
now.
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, is that good?
Yeah.
That's-
It's one of my favorite TV
Okay.
shows, like, period. Like,
A good entry level one too. Like,
Yeah.
not to say like it's like
it's
base.
entry level.
No, not to say it's basic. I think it's one of the best ones ever, but it's
Yeah.
also like more accessible. Is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, is this a?
Interesting.
We're gonna just talk about cartoons the rest of the
It's-
episode.
Yeah,
or-
it's our show. We're
yeah.
grown up.
I was gonna say like
children.
I'm
Yeah, we
I'm
do whatever
enjoying
we want.
I'm enjoying this conversation, and I'm looking at the doc here, and I'm like, do I have to talk about Simone Biles now? Like, I'm actually having fun.
No, we don't have to talk about that.
I don't
No.
know.
Yeah, just talk about what you want.
That's like last week. It's like I feel compelled. I feel like an obligation to talk about like the Ben and Jerry's shit because again, it's like there's a real life consequence to what's happening on the internet. And it's just like, man, but it sucks so much fucking energy. Like I could feel it right away. It's
let's
like, man,
talk about the Facebook.
Yeah,
wait,
but people will pick up on that when they're listening, I think. They'll pick up on, like, your willingness or, like, how enthusiastic you are about a topic.
yeah,
right, or how nobody
You know what I
else
mean?
wants to talk about it, and how that's inherently funny too.
Well-
and I'll accept that. I accept
And, like,
all.
the Simone Biles thing, what else is there to say? What else is there,
I mean-
what could I possibly add to this discussion?
Let's talk about
If
the-
we can touch on it real quick, just
Sure.
one point that I brought up. I saw.
Maybe you have something.
I have something that's interesting, and then we'll touch on it, and then we'll just fucking move on because, like, yeah, what else is there to say? But this guy Chris Wartzel wrote a very interesting article on Substack that is the Simone Biles culture war traveled faster than the news, and how like just the trending topics on Twitter, how they push out some of this fucking information, and it's like we don't even like. I didn't even know that Simone Biles had pulled out of the Olympics. All I saw was people's opinions on it, and how that like. There's a quote in this article from Chris Hayes that says the Simone Biles discourse article was a perfect example of a phenomenon I encounter more and more, which is learning a piece of news first via the takes on it, and then having to backfill what the actual information is, which like implodes my fucking mind. That's how we consume all media nowadays, is just like, oh, Matt Walsh tweeted about Simone Biles. Let me figure out what the fuck happened. You know, it kills me. It kills me.
That's a good point, and that happened to me with the Cuba thing because I like logged on one day or something, and I had no idea what was occurring. I just knew that people were mad.
That's
Right,
all
right.
And
news
I was
for
like,
me
wait,
now.
wait, what exactly are you mad about? Yeah,
That's this
and
show.
also, there's that trend. There's a trend that happened. There's a trend that happened maybe. It probably has always been a thing, but starting like 10 or 15 years ago with like internet headlines, with like articles and shit. The sort of manufacturing of consent, except for it, like the headline tells you how to feel about it before you've even clicked on the fucking article.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we compiled a list of 15 kittens and you're gonna shit your pants when you look at them. And it's like, okay, you've already told me that I'm gonna shit my pants when I click on this. And like, obviously I'm being hyperbolic, but like other things like telling you you're gonna cry or you're gonna be angry. And it like the headline is no longer just a headline, it's the headline plus how they expect you to feel at the end. And it's got to be great for engagement because it just never stopped. And that's kind of the same thing.
Try not to
What?
come. Try not to come. You won't last 20 minutes
Wait, what is that from
playing
again?
this game.
Every ad ever.
Yeah.
Cheerios.
Yeah.
Try not to come.
Yeah. Oh,
challenge.
it's from porn sites. I wish that all media had the like aesthetic of those like bottom of the listicle things where it's like doctors hate this one weird trick.
Yeah,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like, I wish that all media was just had that same tone.
All
Like, that's
advertising,
all I
especially.
want.
Yeah, just lay it on it straight. You know,
Yeah, hot singles in your area. You know,
the news that matters.
it's just democracy dies in darkness or in the dark. That's what was so weird when I click on a Washington Post. Wait, that's Washington Post, right?
I think so.
And
Yeah.
right at the top there, it's like the worst fucking article I've ever read in my life.
Right.
At least the preview, because I don't pay for it. And then it's at the top, it's just like, democracy dies in darkness. And you're like, then let me read the fucking article. I don't know.
Speaking of reading articles, let's move on past this Simone Biles thing and let's do one more story. So, Facebook prayer groups, or I guess to be more specific, Facebook, I guess there's a couple things that are happening. Facebook is in with big religion. Facebook tests new prayer post feature.
Awesome.
Did God sign off on this?
I don't know. He hasn't been responding to his. He hasn't been responding to people for the past
Did you poke him?
6,000
Did you try to poke
No,
him?
he closed his DMs.
I asked him to be a vampire.
God
and
damn it.
He didn't respond.
He's closed his DMs when the pandemic started. Anyway,
yeah,
I sent him a Farmville invite.
that's terrible. I saw that TikTok has a Farmville now.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't know why.
yeah.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure money is the answer. But back to this prayer thing. What's the like format? What's the layout on this prayer? Like, is it like a prayer request or what is it?
The idea for
One like equals one prayer.
I think literally.
Yeah,
The
scroll
idea.
down a little more.
The idea for prayer posts grew out of the myriad ways users have connected over Facebook while distancing during COVID-19, according to the spokesperson. I think that, like, prayer posts, the function will allow members of Facebook groups to ask for and respond to prayer requests. So it's like you say, hey, my family got gunned down by yet another mass shooter. Send prayers. And so literally you can send your thoughts and prayers via social currency on Facebook now. We did it, Facebook.
Yeah, this says you can manage prayer requests and who can see them in group settings. Wow, cool. I love the future.
All right. Go with me for a second here. What if it worked?
Well, only one way to find out, I suppose.
Yeah.
What if anybody who posted those and then got like maybe, a couple hundred responses got what they wanted?
But you could never prove it, though. You could never prove it.
Sometimes it's the unanswered prayers,
So it's like
God only gives his soldiers what he knows they can handle.
Like, oh, my grandpa's in the hospital. He's got cancer. And then I got I got 200 prayers on Facebook, so he's fine now.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, what if it worked?
I mean, like I said, there's only one way to find out. Let's is this already implemented or is it like
no, they're
coming soon?
They're testing it on certain groups, I guess, in the United States.
Certain groups.
Yeah.
How do I get in on this?
Holy
They're
cow.
testing it on the Christians, the Muslims, the Jews. They're seeing they're seeing which God's real.
Oh my
In
God.
the end, there's only one. His
Okay,
name is Zuckerberg.
It's too true.
The man who devoured God. Anyway,
Wow, that's dark. You know who's really gonna like that? My husband. I'm gonna tell him about that
but
Facebook prayer thing. He's gonna get really mad for like a month.
he could give you some content too. My husband's been storming around the house getting mad about Facebook prayer groups. And everybody's going to reply like, leave your man.
Yeah, one like equals one. Calm him down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, yes, I mean,
oh shit. Now,
punishing the...
sorry, my neighbors are being loud.
I can't hear him. We're good.
Yeah, we just had a siren, and I don't think anybody heard that. So
Love it. Facebook prayers. They should...
I think that that's a good idea. Is the groups that they release this to are all religious groups, and we tally whose prayers work and whose doesn't, and we see which God's the real one. And then we know, then we don't have to, then we just get rid of religion, because then we don't have to have multiple. We do the one. It's just
so simple.
The one guy. It's the one guy, Craig.
The man upstairs, I call him.
Yeah, the man upstairs. We figured out which one was the right one, and we just do that just for forever. I think that's fair.
I like to think that people are already figuring out how to make money off of this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now. Think about this. Thoughts and prayers. Thought cops. What's next? New spinoff, prayer cops. Firemen, policemen, priests.
Prayer police.
Let's do it. Let's start a...
No, you need like an ambulance driver, but well, hold on.
I see. I feel like that's kind of tied into the whole fire aesthetic. So I'm leaning in fully.
Yeah, because I guess yeah,
they do have a pretty solid aesthetic, I gotta say.
Yeah, we need a Dalmatian.
I mean, we need a lot of things, but
Yeah.
Patreon.com/ThoughtCops. Let's buy a Dalmatian for the studio, and we'll feed it sometimes.
You guys need to get shit. Whoops. You guys need to get, what's it called when you're tax exempt? You need to get tax exemption status soon.
Oh, like because we're a prayer
Because of the prayers.
group? Oh, right.
Because of the prayers. Well, yeah, and a public service.
Sure. I mean, makes sense.
We should get
really,
a subsidy.
you should be receiving tax money.
That's true. Yeah.
For sure. They're trying to defund you.
Well, try as they might, we're still kicking. Let's move on to something positive, though. Key to the city, whatever we want to give it away to the key to Neo Chicago. Something positive, something swell, something nice, something good. My key to the city this week goes to none other than Bob Odenkirk. Whew, what a stressful day and a half that was. God damn. So, for those who don't know, Bob Odenkirk suffered a heart-related incident on the set of Better Call Saul this week, and apparently almost didn't make it. But as of right now, he is in stable condition. They say he's going to be okay. Fingers crossed that maintains to be the case, because that would really suck if Bob Odenkirk died. I truly do think he is like the godfather of modern comedy. I know we mentioned a lot of this,
Yeah, we're not done with him yet either.
Oh god, no, I feel like he has like so much more to do. Like the guy is constantly on the cutting edge. Like every good new comedy series, every new thing, like he's always fucking involved, and he's always there fostering new talent. Because like not only is he very funny, but he recognizes, what like he does. Like a lot of older comedians may, with the times become more irrelevant or become to struggle. He grows, but he also like learns from and evolves too, and it's just a really really inspiring to me just to see. He's always been a very big point of inspiration to me, and in a lot of ways like influenced my own career path, like because he grew up in the same area that
Is he from like Naperville?
Yeah, the same area, the kind of general area both Grant and I are from. And I remember because I used to watch like Mr. Show constantly when I was a kid, and that when I found out that he was from the area, I was like, oh shit, I can fucking do this. It just felt like this moment of like, oh, that's how you do this. You go to college, you get this degree, then you do this after college, and like. I kind of followed, the college to Second City to whatever, path. And I was always, saw that as a, like a viable option, which, again, like very, very happy he pulled through. Again, like I'm obviously happy to see that Better Call Saul will be wrapping up as well. But moreover, as a person, I'm just, very, very thankful that he's okay. So he gets my key to the city this week.
Hell yeah. This will be the last season of Better Call Saul, right?
Yes.
They're wrapping it?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so good.
I'm so excited.
God, I love that show.
Same.
It's like one of the few shows I actually like pay money for.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking worth it.
Like just so I can get it as fast as possible.
Same.
Yeah, I'm just like, please, just whatever. I'll just buy a season pass or whatever they call it. Like, I love Bob Odenkirk. He's great. I'm glad that he's apparently okay. He's he's definitely one of my favorites. That would be when that happened the other day, obviously everyone on Twitter was freaking out because they were sad for all the right reasons. And I like the next morning I woke up and still with like there was no news or anything.
I was like constantly refreshing.
Part of me was like, I should make some sort of irony post about how I like fucking hate Bob Odenkirk, but like I couldn't bring myself to do it because I was just like, no, like absolutely not. I will not be able to last for a second. But then I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do the joke where I say he's a bad person and then I say paid for by Charles McHutchins III or like whatever that skit is where it's like Harrison Greeley III and Charles McHutchins and they're like enemies. But then I was like, no, just don't. Just don't, because what if he dies?
And I do feel like one final point I want to make on it too was because it was one of the very few times on Twitter where you'll see kind of everybody from across whatever ideologies, political spectrum, all different people were like, "Oh, please be okay, please, please, please," and that like never fucking happens anymore.
Right.
And it just goes to show you like how fucking great someone is when they can truly affect all different kinds of people on such a very deep level.
True. Yeah, he's a patron saint, I think.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't have the worst politics in terms of famous people.
Yeah, so. True. Very
that
true.
Helps. Not making a lot of enemies, I don't think. So yeah, that's a good one. I wish I would have thought of that.
Well, it's your turn now. You can go off on whatever positive thing you want to give away.
Sorry, I don't do positive.
I know it's hard. It's difficult.
I'm just kidding. I did really like. Key to the City. I think I want to do. There's this YouTube channel that I've been watching a lot of lately called Fundy Fridays, and basically she looks at like crazy Christian fundamentalist people. But she does really, really good breakdowns of it, and she's hilarious. And also, she's a really, really nice about it, which is something that I probably wouldn't be able to do. She's like insanely reasonable. So even though she's like against all these like very abusive, fundamentalist Christian dudes that have these weird patriarchal families and stuff, she approaches it in a really cool way, and she does all this research, and her videos are hilarious. So she gets my key to the city because it's just good stuff. Fundy Fridays, go check it out.
Sweet.
Especially if you like that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a good one.
My key to the city, I think I talked about this last episode, but I guess I'll bring this in as like a concrete example and then play a video. I think that this is super interesting. This one guy on TikTok that's like going to medical school has been doing like a series on like race and athleticism and just sort of like breaking down a lot of like myths and stereotypes of like what, he's a black guy and people will comment like, oh, black people can't swim, LOL, like obviously trying to get a rise out of him. And he like made a whole video on like, here's why this conception exists. And it's super interesting. I'll play this one, which is episode 4, the NBA, the NFL, and racial integration, which is super fascinating.
Why is it that sports leagues like the NFL and NBA are dominated by black athletes? Welcome to episode 4 of our Black People More Alike Than Other Races, a series where we look at sports, genetics, and race. Today we're looking at one reason why there may be so many black players in the NFL and NBA. Spoiler, it's not related to genetics, it has to do with historical opportunity. To understand this, we have to take a step back in history and look at when each of these organizations were integrated, because it correlates with how many black players are in each of these leagues. From its creation in 1920, the NFL took 26 years to racially integrate. Compare that to the NBA, which actually only took 4 years after its creation. Major League Baseball, on the other hand, was created in 1869 and took 80 years to integrate. Why this matters is because it allowed for leagues like baseball to create a white identity around the sport. It made it harder for black players like Jackie Robinson to break down these barriers. And today, Major League Baseball is still one of the least diverse sports because it took the longest to integrate. Leagues like the NBA and NFL, meanwhile, were way more accepting, and institutions like the YMCA spread basketball in black communities and beyond. And we can't forget about the Black Fives, which was a basketball style that was played by all black basketball teams until the NBA was integrated in the 1950s. They made basketball synonymous with black culture. What we see is that inclusive sports have a better history of including black players, and that could very well explain why we see so many black players in the NBA and NFL. Make sure to follow and like. Next up, we're talking about some of the double standards we've seen in the Olympics.
So his name's Joe Burville. And like, I do think it's important, you know, again, from the point of view of, yeah, there's a lot of kids that use these apps and shit like that. And it's like, to have like quick content like that just sort of like quickly explains and dispels myths and stuff like that. I mean, I think is important for kids to be able to see it pop up on their page and shit, especially if they live in like rural communities and aren't around people that are like different than them, you know?
Yeah.
So, key to the city to Joel Burville, JoelBervell, I think, on all platforms.
You know, I feel like that's always a conversation that, like, what he brings up is something we probably heard all the time growing up. And
right.
It just rarely do we ever think to like fully examine why that is. And I think only recently we've been kind of hearing a lot more about that, why that is.
Right. And I also think that it's because like, you know, black people have more of a platform on some of these of these like websites and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, when it came to like TV and movies and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, traditionally you get a lot of stereotypes and characters and stuff like that, but it's like, here's people that are actually telling you their experiences and like what they learned and how they put it out into the world. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I wouldn't have even thought of some of these things like in the way that he explains them and stuff like that, and they're super fascinating.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think People like to make these, like the myth thing. People make these like weird, like non-scientific and definitely racist, like assumptions about why things are the way that they are. And it's like what he said, it's probably just because basketball, for example, they were more inclusive earlier. So obviously that's going to inspire generations of people like, oh, hey, like I watch baseball and there's not really a lot of black players, but I watch basketball and, you know, my favorite team has 5 black players. That's like, I want to do that. You know, like you see it as like inspirational and something that like you could achieve 50 years ago or 30 years ago even. And it's like, that's going to impact the next generation. And that's definitely a better way to look at it than whatever the fuck people say about like that, like black people aren't able to swim or something.
And
like,
yeah, that
doesn't make any sense.
That video also was interesting because there's some statistic that like black children, I believe, are 4 times more likely to drown than white children. But like historically, we had problems integrating pools and stuff like that. And by the time that they became widely, and by the time that they became like widely integrated, having a pool was like a thing of luxury. Like way back 100 years ago, 100 to 50 years ago, it was like a big public thing that actually like lower class people would sort of partake in. And then it became like a status symbol. Like you own a pool if you're a rich person. You know, it's more linked to class than we would think. But, you know, again, it's just like you hear it and you're just like, I never really thought to even dispel the myth before, but it's just a fascinating, refreshing take on someone who did a little bit of research on it and, you know, made a video that a couple 100,000 people saw, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. Joel Burville?
Yeah.
See, our Thought Cops word of the week this week. Grant, do you have one, or are we just going to pick one off the old
just
list? Yeah, they all kind of suck. Let's just say prayer posting. Let's go with that. We mentioned it earlier. Prayer posting. You go on whatever. I guess that's a new thing now. You want to get prayers on Facebook? You prayer post. You get up. You solve. You perform a miracle by getting all the likes and comments. And basically, that's how we're.
One prayer equals 1 like.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yep. There you go. You don't even have to hit the like button. You just pray and the numbers go up.
But it helps. You know, we do like to see it. You know.
Right.
So before we do get to our final segment, which is our listener voicemails, Kelgorf, do you want to plug everything you want to plug? Any social media, YouTube you want to direct people to go see? Now's the time.
Really the only thing I think people might be interested in would be Twitter, if you like Twitter. And it's at Kelgor Trout. and my YouTube channel, which is just Kelgore on YouTube. Other than that, I go on TikTok and stuff, but I'm not really big on any other social media or anything. So if you want to follow me, come check it out. And I don't know, tell me you saw me on Thought Cops or something, and then we can be buds.
You get a free. Tell her that you get a free YouTube subscription to her channel. How about that?
Yeah, it's totally 100% free. I won't charge you when you hit the button.
Most channels would.
That'll be yours.
Yeah, most channels would.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it though. I mean, really, I'm just here for fun. I'm just, I watch you guys and I watch all your TikToks and stuff. So it's just kind of fun to come hang.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Appreciate that.
So let's get to those listener voicemails. If you want to support the show,
oh yeah,
actually,
do we have some?
We got
a
some.
couple voicemails.
Yeah, just give us a call 312-788-7361, or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Hit it.
All right, let's
hitting it right and
okay. I'm on. Yeah, there we go.
Right and now.
Hey, Thought Cops, IO Netrunner here, and this week my 2 minutes of hate is when you're feeling kind of burnt out on a project, so you hope the other guy in the project will do the heavy lifting, but turns out the other person is also burnt out on the project, and so you guys just kind of agree to maybe stop doing the project for a while. Anyway, keep up the great show. Love you guys doing what you're doing. The Lord's work. Bye.
Kind of petered off at the end there.
He's burnt out.
What's he talking about there?
The Discord news. I think he's burnt. I think they're burning out.
Oh no!
I think there's only so much.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Now imagine doing that, but longer and for 4 years.
Yeah,
jerk. You monster. I'm just kidding. You're all right. Anything more to say about that, or do we just skip on ahead?
Skip ahead.
Skipping ahead now.
Hey, Thought Cops. With what happened to Bob Odenkirk the other day, still fresh in my head, I got curious. What's your guys' favorite episode or skit from Mr. Show? My personal favorite is from Going on Holiday, the blowing up the moon skit.
That's a classic.
Just something about the flurry of it all feels very like it could happen in real life. Okay, later. Kisses, Grant.
No, thank you.
My favorite, one of my favorites is it's like a parody of an MTV interview where they I think his name is John Ennis. He's interviewing Bob and David, but they're in character as this like 90s British pop band called Smoosh. But it's just really funny because it has this extra layer where the interview's not going very well. And the guys, the interviewers, and then it zooms out and there's like a therapist there also. She's like, now, why do you think they keep responding that way? He's like, I don't know. And it just like, it takes this like really smart, really funny turn. And it's just,
it's good.
Yeah, it's great. That's probably one of my favorites. Grant, did you watch too much of it, or you just seen bits and pieces?
I've seen bits and pieces. Nothing that sticks out in my head. I mean, that'd be a good. I can't imagine that'd be a good Fire Bros review, but that's probably like a good purposeful. I should just go and watch it, sort of thing.
I would say so.
Yeah, giving myself homework.
Well, Run Ronnie Run is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, but for Mr. Show, the Devastator sketch.
Is that the roller coaster one?
The roller coaster.
Why does this keep happening?
It's just, why does this keep happening? So that's probably my favorite. If you haven't seen that, just look up the Devastator and go watch it 5 times because it's so good.
Just like classic sketch writing. It's just so, I don't know.
So good.
Like well perfected.
Yeah.
Let's hit the next one.
Speaking of perfected.
Do we have more?
Yeah, we got 2 more.
Okay, this is. I want to make a quick note here. This is 3 minutes long, guys.
It's a little long.
Keep them under 2 at the very most.
Yeah,
we got to be under 2 minutes.
if it's really good, maybe we'll grant you a couple seconds. But
this is under 2 minutes, even if it's very good.
This better be good.
And I'm sure it will be, but
there better be no Paper Mario talk.
God damn it. Let's just
Just
hit the
gonna-
fucking thing.
And good evening, Thought Cops. Once again, it is I, Leo the Incredible.
Hey.
This time, reporting in as Deputy Leo the Incredible.
Okay.
Or is it Leo the Incredible's deputy? The lore will be established later. Nonetheless,
Later?
I'm calling in because it's my duty as an honorary deputy of the Thought Cops, which you too, all listeners, can join in at patreon.com/thoughtcops. And you
Thank
too
you,
can be a
Leo.
deputy. I'm calling
Now I
in
feel bad for
to report yet another thought crime. This was discussed earlier in the Discord of Thought Cops, which again you can have access to at patreon.com/thoughtcops. This one was about a junior. Yes, unbelievable. A thought crime involving a junior. A junior Friday.
Oh,
What we call Thursday.
motherfucker.
At least normal people call Thursday.
Oh,
Apparently,
no.
there are sycophants, real, deranged people that refer to Thursday as Friday Junior.
Disgusting.
This is a thought crime, gentlemen. As
Yes, it is.
there are so many better juniors that we could embrace. Like Sammy Davis Jr., great entertainer. Ken Griffey Jr., awesome baseball player. Carl's Jr., knockoff Hardee's, but still wonderful and delicious. Robert Downey Jr., who could never be
I
replaced
can't
as
believe
an
he's
Iron
just
Man.
naming
And
off
even Freddie
juniors.
Prinze Jr.
He just took the Paper
like a
Mario
shitty wrestler
characters
these
bit
days. He kinda
and
went
applied
downhill.
it to
Maybe
a
he's
new
not such a great
thing.
one.
I can't
Nonetheless,
believe I've been
it's
duped.
a crime. It's a crime to refer to Friday as
No mention of
Thursday
Junior
as
Troopa.
Friday Junior.
I've been
I demand
smeckledorfed.
the wheel of punishment. So that anybody, any sycophant, any deranged lunatic who uses this phrase gets punished.
Okay.
However, I now move on to your guest, Kelgore Trout. Hello, madam. It's a pleasure to speak with you. And I do have a question, as you had asked previous on Twitter. This is in regards to your own series. I had the pleasure of listening in, and I found your
Wait, what's
3
going on?
episodes of Mompreneurs,
is it
Landlord
still-
Creamed in Section 8, Landlord,
Can you hear it?
to be very entertaining. And my question is,
yeah.
what do you have on the lineup next?
Wait, do we?
Anyhow,
Yeah, go,
this
but
concludes
she was
my
asking you a question.
voicemail.
Sorry, it
On
said
not
I have a question for
Friday
Kelgore
Junior,
Trout, and then it
but on
cut
a
off.
wonderful
That's stream
Thursday.
pause for
I
some
hope everyone
reason.
has a great
Just
day.
tell me what it. Oh,
I'll just
Okay,
yeah,
sorry,
play it
sorry.
back.
Kelgore Trout.
There we go.
Hello, madam.
Oh, God.
It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Had him.
And I do have a question, as you had asked previous on Twitter. This is in regards to your own series. I had the pleasure of listening in, and I found your 3 episodes of Mompreneurs, Landlord Creamed in Section 8, Landlords, to be very entertaining. And my question is, what do you have on the lineup next? Anyhow, this concludes my voicemail
Finally.
on not Friday Junior, but on a wonderful Thursday.
Thank
I hope
you.
everyone has a great day.
Thanks,
Okay.
Leo.
Thank you.
You should not have to say this concludes my voicemail.
He
That's a great note for it's like if we're gonna cut off some extra seconds. That's just some.
Hey, he's busy tossing
Leo-
salads and scrambling eggs.
Yeah, Leo. Obviously, you're a very sweet person, and I think you have a good sense of humor, probably because you really committed to that bit.
Yeah.
But my next one, I have a really hard time with the owned ones because I have to go find all these cringy TikToks. But I really want to do cops dancing on TikTok. But I gotta find an angle on it that hasn't been done. So I'm not really sure yet what I'm gonna do next for the owned series. Probably eventually some more Landlords if I can handle it.
If you can handle it, and that is a big task. Now, Leo also asked us to spin the wheel, which I feel like we haven't done in a while, because he mentioned people who use the phrase Friday Junior to describe Thursday, which we've talked about on the show before, but as I mentioned, in the Discord today, which again, if you're not part of the Discord, we do have a link to the server in every episode description on YouTube and the podcast apps, so check that out. But as far as the punishment for these folks who are referring to Thursday as Friday Junior, and what's next? Was Wednesday Friday Junior? Junior, where does it end? So that's what we're here for.
Friday the 3rd, which then gets confused from I can't read that.
What the hell? Midas touch, mid-ass
touch.
This is good, actually. This is good, and that kind of goes in line with what I was just saying, in the sense of these people who are, their lives revolve around Friday Junior, Friday Eve. They say things like this: every day of the week is Friday now. You love Friday so fucking much, live it.
Yeah,
your life is a Friday, and then Friday ceases to have any meaning anymore because that's exactly
Saturday
what it is.
never comes.
Friday Senior, I call it. No, that's exactly what the fucking problem is. Because when you strip away Friday and add it to every other day, it's like your time has no meaning. What's to look forward to if everything isn't just Friday? Everything you touch, that's what the Midas touch. Every day you live is a Friday, and then you know what you're going to be. Hey, Monday. I hate Mondays, but I guess I hate Fridays too now. I'm so confused. So thank you.
In the restaurant industry, people have crazy schedules, and so it's always like Wednesday, and someone you work with is like, it's my Friday, and I fucking hate that shit. And then you get people being like, oh, like today's technically my Monday, and like, or it's my Wednesday, and it's like, just please shut up.
Just call it what it is. Like I had 2 days off, and now I'm back in work.
Yeah.
Like Monday is still Monday. Your life shouldn't revolve around the meaning of your job.
Yeah, and it's also, if they said like, oh, tomorrow's like my weekend or whatever, like, okay, whatever, I get it. But like, why do we have to like redesignate the days? Just stop.
Yes,
I
agree. I agree.
Pisses me off.
Let's put the next voicemail here.
You know what's really annoying about like jobs, or specifically my job, is how they really try to push like phone calls on things that could easily just be an email.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk about meetings because at least for meetings, you're not actually talking to clients. You can just kind of like tune out and not do anything and not talk to clients. I'm talking about like when they want you to actually call like someone instead of just emailing them, or call on top of emailing. I don't fucking want to call anyone. Just let me fucking email them. Right.
I mean, you understand the irony here. You've given us a call.
Yeah.
Which we
I
appreciate.
thought that she was going to be mad at. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't quite go that direction. But I work a similar type of job where it's like I do. The email is quicker. You get the information. It's all there. You can you don't have to answer it right away. Whoever you're getting it to, they'll get it when they see it. Whatever. But yeah, then they're like, oh, well, you could get on the phone and call them, and it's like, yeah, I guess I could get the answer a little faster, but I really don't want to.
Yeah, because then I have to do the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess work sucks, so just
quit.
Quit your job. Yeah.
There you go.
I would simply quit.
I can't think of a good reason not to.
Me neither. Let's play the next voicemail here.
We got one last
Seems
one.
reasonable.
Hey, Doc Ops, this is Slime the Garbage Man calling. My 2 minutes of hate goes to the big, bad, terrible Warner Brothers studio for tarnishing the vision of visionary director David Ayers. Triple OG Thug Master General grew up in the streets of dirty L.A., stepping over brains on the sidewalk to catch his boss, David Ayers, for pissing all over his vision of the Suicide Squad in 2016, which clearly would have been a masterpiece if he didn't have to get arrested and do crack in L.A. and drive around in his old Cutlass smoking PCP. Yeah, I'm just so pissed off at the studios who trampled his vision. That's also clearly why Bright sucked and why Training Day sucked and why, you know what, that's why. That's why people should just stop messing with Triple Elite OG tough guy David Ayers. I'm rip roaring mad about it, fellas. Gee, something's got to be done.
I think his job at the Satire Factory has gone straight to Mr. Slime's head.
Yeah.
He says, "Fuck you, dude."
I saw some people in the Discord were complaining about this today, where I guess, there's this Suicide Squad. They're making another one, I guess. Hey, that first one, that didn't happen, actually. And he's mad about that because, James Gunn's doing the new one because he got fired from Marvel. So now he's going to DC and he's making his crap somewhere else. Anyway, so David Ayer is, he's upset that people are forgetting about his crap. So Slime is earnestly coming to his aid, saving the man's honor. Or no, he says he's in. So I do. Sleep Science says I think he's in support of the new one. There was so much fucking text there, man. I could not catch up with it. I'm just gonna stick to whatever the first thing I said was, and I'm gonna believe that to be the truth.
Who cares?
I'm gonna say he's mad about it. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
I'm so broke, and I just want a little bit of money, and we're just fighting over these multi-billion-dollar franchises. And I don't care. I just burn them all to the ground.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
That'll do it. Speaking of that'll do it, that's about...
Yeah, I don't really have a horse in that race.
Yeah. Whatever. That's all the voicemails, right, Grant?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, hey, how about that?
Finito.
If you want to give us a call of your own, if that inspired you, go ahead and pick up that phone, 312-788-7361. Or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show financially and get bonus content, because like I said, we got all those episodes of Fire Bros and all the ones coming up soon, as well as access to the live chat during the episode where you can complain and bully us the entire time. Patreon.com/thoughtcops. It's so cheap, but it really, really, really does go a long way to help the show out and, make it what it is for all these years we've been doing it. We do appreciate it. We love you. Kelgore, thank you for coming on the show. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate it.
This was super fun. Let me know if you guys ever need a guest again. Although, sorry, I'm kind of the worst about scheduling.
Oh, hey, same to you. I mean, if you ever, want to, let's make something happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys ever want to come on the Troutcast?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Just hit us up.
Let's do it.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening.
Yes.
And
thank
we
you.
will see you. Well, I want to have a catchphrase like Grant at the end. I want to say, we'll see you on the other side. How about that?
See you.
We'll see you next Friday, Junior.
Oh, no.
Wait, what the fuck was it?
No, you got it right. You got it right.
You unfortunately got it right.
Friday, Junior. Yeah, we'll see you on the flippity Friday, Junior.
Catch you on the Junior.
See you, Space Cop.
I don't like how that sounds.
I don't either.
I think Junior is like my least favorite euphemism for like a dong. All right, anyways. On that note.
Well, that's new. Just dropped my gun.